This is going to be the 1980 ALCS, game number 5. So this didn't actually make it to that point. It was over in three games to nothing for the Kansas City Royals. And I've got a live stream going on here. So if you want to chime into the chat, anybody who shows up, you can ask any questions that you have or just talk about the game. I was born in 1978, so this is a little bit before my time. But we're seeing it's an exciting moment. We had game 1 went to the Yankees 11-6. Ron Guidry with 8 innings pitched. He did give up 5 runs, but he had 9 strikeouts. So a lot of those 5 runs came in the last 2 innings. Game 2 was I believe a 4-3 victory for the Royals. So they split at home. Game 3 went to the Yankees. Game 3 here went to the Yankees. It was Tommy John outdueling Splittorff. That game was also 11-6, I believe. And then the game that I just posted was game number 4, and this was a Kansas City victory, 8-3. 3-run homer by Bucky Dent in the 8th inning made it close, but wasn't really a very close game. Rich Gale, 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. That 3-run homer, the only 3 runs, and UL Washington had a day. He was 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base on top of that. So, excellent day for the Kansas City shortstop. And we are playing this one with the roster sheet sets. So this is for 1980. That's a forthcoming season. That has not been released yet, but it will be coming out soon. So, so we got New York at Kansas City. Let's walk through our starting lineups for Game 5. This would have theoretically been played on October 13th or 14th, something like that. And for the Yankees, it's Willie Randolph, second base, and he is leading off. Hitting second is Bucky Dent, playing short. Bob Watson is the number 3 hitter. He is playing first base. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, in right field. He's hitting cleanup. Eric Solderholm is the DH. He's hitting 5th. Rick Cerrone is catching and hitting 6th. Lou Piniella gets the start in left field. He is hitting 7th. Aurelio Rodriguez is at third base. He gets the start. He's hitting in the 8th position. And Bobby Brown, it's his prerogative to hit number 9, and he is going to do that as he is the 9th place hitter. It's going to be Ron Guidry on the mound for the Yankees. Right-handed pitcher, can go 25 batters for his stamina, 347 FIP, so he'll be pitching out of column 1. For the hometown Royals, it's going to be Willie Wilson in left, and he's leading off. UL Washington, player of the game from game number 4, he's going to be hitting second, switch hitting shortstop. George Brett, left-handed hitting third baseman, is hitting third. 60 batting runs in 1980, a monster year for him. Hal McRae, the DH, is hitting in the 4th spot. Amos Otis, center fielder, is hitting 5th. John Wathan, the right fielder, is hitting 6th. Willie Aikens is playing first and hitting 7th. Darrell Porter, left-handed catcher, is hitting 8th, not left-handed throwing, but batting. And then Frank White, the speedy second baseman, is hitting 9th. On the mound for the Royals is going to be Larry Gura, Larry Gura. Gura, right-handed pitcher, can go 33 batters, 373 FIP. He got banged around a little bit in game number 1. He did okay until there was a big 5-run 6th inning, so it was a tough game for him. So, all right, let's get started with this one. This is Yankees at Royals. The winner goes to the World Series, and let's see what happens here. Willie Randolph will be leading off, and then it's Bucky Dent and Bob Watson. All right, and right off the bat, 373 ERA. It's going to put him in column number 2. This is Gura on the mound. He faces off against Willie Randolph, and a 30 batting runs with a 22 is going to be a double or a triple. That's going to be a leadoff double as he rings one off the wall in right center field. And Willie Randolph at second base with nobody out. Quick start for the Yankees. Brings up Bucky Dent. 14 to a -5 is going to be a hit by pitcher, a walk. That's a 3. That's going to be a walk. So fills in the runner behind Willie Randolph. You got runners at first and second now with Bob Watson coming to the plate. 55 to Watson is going to be a double play or a strikeout. So that's a tough one for the Yankees as he bounces one to short. Taylor-made double play. We're going to go 6-4-3 as we get the fielder's choice here for out number 1, number 2, and then the runner is going to go to third. Randolph will be at third on the double play. But 2 down now with the runner at third base. 45 to Reggie Jackson is going to be a fly ball. He gets onto this one. It goes out to right center field, and it's going to stay in the park as the center fielder, Amos Otis, ranges over just short of the track and makes the catch. So the Yankees threaten in the first, but they don't score. And we head to the bottom of the first inning. It is Kansas City coming up for the first time in this Game 5. They'll be facing Ron Guidry, the ace of the Yankees staff, Willie Wilson, UL Washington, and George Brett up first for Kansas City. 36 is going to be a walk off of Guidry's column. So that is never a good idea to walk that man. And so we're going to take off for second. 1-9, Wilson is safe. It's a 2, and he's in there easily as he steals second base. And just like the Yankees, Kansas City has a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Brings up UL Washington, a 25 to a -2 is going to be a fly out with an error check. So it's a fly out to center field. No error on the play. And the runner will hang on at second base. Brings up George Brett to the plate. Brett, a left-handed batter against the right-hander Guidry. He's going to tap this one down the first base line. The play is made by the pitcher. Pitcher is going to toss it to first. We're going to want 1-3 on the putout, and the runner is going to advance on the fielder's choice. So a runner at third base with 2 outs. Let's see if Hal McRae can come through for the Royals. A 35 to a 14 is going to be a strikeout. Ron Guidry gets him looking with a hanger, the breaking ball. And that is a sigh of relief for the Yankees as they get a runner to third. Royals do, and can't get them home. And that brings up Soderholm, Cerrone, and Piniella to the plate against Larry Gura. This is going to be a ground out. A little 2-hopper to third base. No problem there, as the third baseman Brett makes a good throw to first. And that's out number 1. Brings up Rick Cerrone, a 46 to Rick Cerrone, who's a 5 batting runs. That's going to be a strikeout, as Cerrone is the first strikeout victim of the day for Larry Gura. Gura just a 10% strikeout rate. Not a big part of his game. 24 is here. That's going to come off of the pitcher's column. So 24 is going to be a grounder to third. Hot shot to George Brett. He grabs it, spins, throws to first, and that's a nice play for a 1-2-3 inning for Larry Gura as we head to the bottom of the second. Still no score in this Game 5 of the ALCS from 1980. Try to fix the camera here a little bit so we're not looking up the nose, so to speak. Okay. All right, and first batter up for the Royals is going to be Amos Otis, then Wathan, then Akins. So that was a 0 36 to a -5 is going to be a base hit. And that's going to be a base knock right up the middle as he bounces it through the infield. Amos Otis at first with nobody out. We're going to try to steal 1 to 6. He's going to be safe. It's a 3, and Amos Otis in there safely. Second stolen base of the game for the Royals. And they got a man in scoring position for John Wathan, who is a 10 batting runs. We got a 33 here. That's going to come off of the pitcher. So because of Guidry's strength and his low FIP, he's going to get the strikeout there. As he gets Wathan swinging through the pitch, brings up Willie Aikens, a 26 to Aikens. He is a 12, so that's going to be a base knock with an error check. So single down the left field line. We're checking the error on the left fielder Piniella. No error there, but that's going to be a base hit, and that'll push the runner to third base. He's a 6. Let's just go ahead and try to score him here and get the first run of the game. 1 to 6, Amos Otis will be safe at home. It's a 1, and he slides in there safely as Piniella. The throw is offline just a little bit, and that's going to be an RBI single for Willie Aikens. And the Royals take a 1-0 lead, the hometown crowd, into this one. Darryl Porter stands in, left-handed bat. He's a -3. 55 to a -3 is going to be a line out or a foul out, depending on this roll. It'll be a line out, and that is a line drive to the shortstop. That'll be out number 2. Runner scampers back to first base. Aikens at first, 2 out, and Frank White to the plates. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them in the chat for anybody who joins in to what we're doing here tonight. 44 is to a -18 is going to be a walk. So Frank White takes the walk. That puts runners at first and second base with 2 outs. 1 already in for the Royals. A little bit of trouble here for Ron Guidry. Let's see if he can get out of it, and he will. That's going to be a strikeout looking as he gets Willie Wilson with a K. So out number 3. Actually, he didn't. That's going to be a walk. Sorry. Ooh. That's going to be a walk. A hit by pitch or a walk if it's a 2. So that's going to be a walk for Willie Wilson. And that will load the bases. All right, tough position here for Ron Guidry. A 25 is nothing off of the pitcher's column. A -2 is going to be a fly out, but there's an error check. That'll be a fly out to center field. And Brown is there to make the catch, and that is going to be out number 3. Nice play by Brown on the run, and he saves a couple of runs there. Kansas City does get 1, and it is 1-0 Kansas City in the deciding Game 5 of the 1980 ALCS. Winner goes to the World Series, punches their ticket, and we'll see who winds up victorious in this one. Gurro will face Aurelio Rodriguez, Bobby Brown, and then back to the top with Willie Randolph. It's going to be a bouncer here. That goes to the shortstop. No problem at short, and the play is going to be made by Washington to first for out number 1. 23 misses here, so that'll be a blank. A 23 to a -1 is a ground out with an error check, so that's a little ground ball to first base. A hot shot and no error on the play as Aikens makes a nice play, tosses it to the pitcher covering, and that's out number 2. So 2 quick ones here in the top of the 3rd inning, and it's Willie Randolph to the plates. 45 to a 30 batting runs is going to be a fly ball. That's out to center field. Can of corn out there for the center fielder who's playing center, Amos Otis. And that's another 1-2-3 inning for Larry Gura, who is cruising at this point. It's 1-0 Kansas City. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 25. It is Guidry. He's in the first column. Sorry. And he's facing off against Brett, McCray, and Otis. So against Brett, a 25 is going to be a fly ball with an error check. This goes out to right center field. Check in Reggie Jackson. No error on the play as Jackson makes a nice running catch for the first out of the inning. So that's how we start our third inning. Behal McCray, he struck out in his first at bat. 34, though, he's going to avoid a strikeout. That's going to be a flyout. So he hits this one out to dead center field. No problem out there in center field for Bobby Brown. He squeezes it for out number 2. And that brings up Amos Otis. Otis singled and scored the only run of the game so far. 36 is going to be a walk as Otis back on first base. And should we steal with him? That's a good question. We're not going to. I'm going with my gut here. And so it's John Wathan, a 56. Didn't really matter. Oh, actually it does. A 56, that's going to be a walk. So that puts 2 runners on. So 2 on, ahead of Willie Aikens. Aikens already with 1 RBI single. Let's see if he can drive in any more runs. He won't. This little tapper out in front of the plate. Rick Cerrone jumps out and makes a strong throw to first, and that gets the Yankees out of the third. A little bit of hot water there for Ron Guidry. He sort of danced around through the raindrops in this one. Not quite as dominant as he was in the first game, but has only given up 1 run so far. It's 1-0 Kansas City over New York to go to the top of the 4th. It'll be Gura against Dent, Watson, and Reggie Jackson. So here's a grounder. This is a hot shot to shortstop. No problem for UL Washington, who makes a nice play over to first base, and that's out number 1. Brings up Bob Watson. Watson grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. He hits it back over to the shortstop. This one a little bit easier play as Washington makes another good throw over first. Gets his man Washington, and that brings up Reggie Jackson. Reggie flied out to right center field in his first at bat. 46 to a 49 batting runs is going to be a strikeout as Larry Gura, 2nd K of the day, and that gets Mr. October in the 4th. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. This one buzzing right along. Only 1 run in the game. Kansas City has scored the lone run. 1-0 is our score, and it's going to be Porter, White, and back to the top with Wilson. They're facing off against Ron Guidry, New York's ace pitcher. 35, he to a -3 is going to be a ground out. So that's a little tapper out in front of the plate. And the play will be made by the catcher, Cerrone, and that is out number 1. A 12, that's going to be a little tapper down to first. No problem at first base for Bob Watson as he grabs it. He steps on the bag, and he gets his man at first. 2 down. Back to the top of the order, Willie Wilson. He's got 2 walks in this one. A 45 to an 11 is going to be a long single, so he actually hits this one down the right field line, and he's going to turn that into a hustled double as he beats the throw back in from Reggie Jackson. And it'll be UL Washington to the plate. A 66 to a -2 is going to be a walk. So the Royals got something going here with 2 outs. It's 2 down. They're 2 on. And George Brett to the plate, the ever dangerous George Brett. 24. 24 is going to be a blank here off of a 60. That's going to be a double play or a strikeout with 2 outs. We'll take that strikeout, and power against power, it will be Ron Guidry getting the K. So Guidry shuts down the threat. 2 on and 2 out, and the Royals can't come through. Their all-everything player, George Brett, strikes out with 2 on the bags. And we head to the top of the 5th inning. 1-0 is our score. Kansas City ahead in this winner-take-all game. Larry Gura is going to face Soderholm, Cerrone, and Piniella. Soderholm with the ground out in his first at-bat. He's going to ground out here to the shortstop. No problem for Washington as he makes a good strong throw to first and gets his man. Rick Cerrone to the plate. This will be another tapper right out in front of the plate. Down the third base line, the catcher calls off the pitcher, grabs it, spins, throws, and he throws out his counterpart at first. And that will be out number 2. Cerrone now 0 for 2. Brings up Lou Piniella. Piniella grounded out to third in his first at-bat. This time he's going to tap it out to the catcher. A lot of catcher plays here. Doesn't usually happen, but happens here. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Larry Gura, as he's getting a lot of weak contact, a lot of ground balls. And this will be to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 1-0 Kansas City over New York. Ron Guidry can go 25 batters. He's at 21 right now, so should be good. 14 to Hal McRae, who is also a 14. And that's going to be a base hit for Al McRae. He's now 1 for 2, or 1 for 3. Amos Otis to the plate, who's 1 for 1 with a single. A 23. There's going to be nothing off the pitcher. Otis is a -5, so that's going to be a ground out with an error check. That goes to the shortstop. There is an error on the shortstop, so Bucky Dent boots it. Going to go E6. Could be a costly error. And we will see how that happens, or see if anything happens there. It's going to be John Wathan to the plate. He's 0 for 1. A 14, nothing off the pitcher, and a 14 to a 10 is going to be a base hit, as that's going to be a single. And Hal McRae is a 6. We're going to go ahead and try to score him there. That's a base hit to left center field. Let's go ahead and try to score him. Anytime the ball goes down the lines or to the gaps, I want to try to give runners an opportunity to score if they can. So 1-6, Hal McRae is going to be safe at home, and it'll be 2-0. We got to roll again. There are no 10s, and he is in there safely, as that's an RBI single for John Wathan. Hal McRae comes in to score. Going to second base is Amos Otis, and we got runners at first and second, nobody out, and 1 already in. 2-0 is our score, as Kansas City stretches the lead. A 34 to Akins is going to be a fly out. So that's a fly ball, straightaway left field. The left fielder is there. He's Lou Piniella. That's a can of corn out there. That's going to be out number 1. No chance to advance. So runners at first and second with 1 out, and Darryl Porter to the plate. Guidry hoping for a ground ball hit right at somebody. 26 to a -3 is going to be a ground out. It is hit to the third baseman. He's going to go the short way and get the fielder's choice. And that'll be a 5-4 put out, and we'll have runners at the corners. So only we're able to get 1 there, but runners at the corners, 2 out now, and Frank White to the plate. 35 is to a -18 is going to be a strikeout, as Ron Guidry, bringing the heat, gets Frank White. He can't catch up, but the Royals do put 1 more on the board. They lead 2-0 in this one. Again, if you have any questions or comments, anything about the game or about on-base baseball, feel free to ask your questions. The chat is on, and I got it over here, so if you want to chime in with anything. All right, for the Yankees in the top of the 6th, they're down 2-0. They send up Aurelio Rodriguez, Bobby Brown, and Willie Randolph to the plate. Larry Gura still on the mound. He can go 33 batters. I mean, essentially at this point, he's looking at a complete game, as long as the wheels don't fall off, which they could. Good Yankee offense here, especially through the middle, and there's a chance that could happen. A 12 is going to be a ground ball, though. That's a 1 hopper out to shortstop. UL Washington is up for the challenge, and he gets it over first for out number 1. 2 ground outs now for Rodriguez to the shortstop, and he's over 2. Brings up Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown, a 34 to a -1, is going to be a base hit. That's, in fact, a long single. So hit into the left center field gap. He's going to turn that into a hustle double. So Bobby Brown turns on the wheels, and that puts a runner in scoring position for Willie Randolph. Let's see if Randolph can make a play. He is 1 for 2. 45 to Randolph is going to be a fly ball. That's out to left field. Little can of corn out in left. This is going to be out number 2. No advancement for the runner. And we have 2 down with a runner in scoring position for Bucky Dent. 25 to Bucky Dent. He is a -5. So that's going to be a fly ball out to right center field. Let's check the error. In right field, there is no error as John Wathan makes the play on the run, and that's going to be out number 3. So the Yankees get a man in scoring position, but they can't get him home. The chances are running out for the Yanks. It's 2-0 Kansas City as we go to the bottom of the 6th. We're at 27 batters for Ron Guidry. Let's go ahead and leave him in there for one more inning. He has to drop down to column number 2. That is the penalty for sending a batter out past his stamina, is you drop him down a column. So he'll be facing off against Willie Wilson, UL Washington, and George Brett. 14, you can see 14 here to Willie Wilson is going to be a base knock. We're sending Wilson. He's a 1-9 to steal second. It's a 9, and he's in there just ahead of the tag with a stolen base. Runner at second base, and nobody out for UL Washington. 44 to a -2 is going to be a fly ball out. That goes out to right center field. No problem in right field for Reggie as Jackson makes the catch. And no advancement for the runner Wilson as that was a short fly ball. Brings up George Brett. Brett having a tough day. He's 0 for 3. He struck out in his last at bat. He's going to strike out here as well. Oh, maybe not. 56. 56 is going to be a hit by pitch, actually, as he gets plunked by Ron Guidry. And that's going to put runners at first and second. Yankees sticking with their man. They got Hal McRae coming up. He had a single in his last at-bat. A 33 normally would have been something good, but because he's moved over a column, we're looking at a 14, a 33, and a 14. Pow! Home run from Hal McRae as he launches one deep into the night. McRae had 14 homers and 83 RBIs in 1980. Here, he's going to hit a 3-run homer, and that may just be it for the Yankees, as they lived and died with their ace, and looks like they might be dying. We'll see. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, but we're going to have to get a new pitcher in here as Guidry is going to leave the game, having given up 5 runs. So that's a tough one, 3-run homer for Hal McRae. It's now 5-0 Kansas City, and we are going to the bullpen. Let me bring in somebody. Let's see. We got our roster sheets here. All of our players. Where are we? 6th inning. I brought in Doug Bird at some point. 22 games. It's really Ron Davis, Rudy May, in the last game. Yeah, Rudy May went 3 innings. I don't think he's going to be available even with the day off. So maybe 1 inning he could throw. Ron Davis is going to be our guy. So right-hander, 10 and 350. So he'll be pitching out of the first column. So Guidry was pitching out of the second column there for a while. And we got a new pitcher. That's going to end Ron Guidry's day. He goes 5 1/3. Not the start that he had hoped for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, 5 runs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks. Youch. And only 1, 2, 3 4 strikeouts. So not a great experience here for Ron Guidry in game number 5. It's 5-0. Let's see if the Yankees can hold serve and come back and score some runs against this Kansas City team. 56, that's to a -5. Again, we're coming out of this column now. So 56 to a -5 is going to be a strikeout. So it gets Amos Otis swinging. That's out number 2, sorry. Got a couple of people watching. Thank you for tuning in. This is the deciding game of the 1980 World Series, or ALCS. This decides who goes to the World Series. In real life, it was Kansas City who won this series 3-0, but they're in a dogfight here in Game 5. They came back in Game 4 with an impressive 8-3 win to force Game 5 and come back to Kansas City. And they're taking care of business so far. This is a 45-10. 45-10 is going to be a long single. For Wathan, he's a 6, so that means he's going to turn that into a hustle double as he hits one into right field. Oh. Brings up Willie Aikens. The 33 is going to be a strikeout off of Davis's column. So the benefits of having that pitcher in column number 1 is you get that strikeout on a 33 instead of, what would it have been? It would have been a home run. So instead of a home run, you get a strikeout. So that's one of the real benefits and keys there. But that strikeout will end the inning, but 3 runs come in. It's now 5-0 Kansas City over New York. Larry Gura can go 33 batters. He's only at 20 right now. Cruising right along, he'll face off against Watson, Jackson, and Soderholm for the Yankees. A 14 to a 17 is going to be a base knock as Bob Watson gets that one down past the first baseman into right field. He'll be at first base with nobody out. Reggie Jackson to the plate. Jackson always a threat. A 14 is going to be a long single. Jackson not with a lot of speed, so he's going to stop at first, but that is going to push the runner all the way to third base as Jackson hits that one into the right center field gap. Took him a while to get to it, and Watson makes his way over to third. Brings up Eric Soderholm. Soderholm with a couple of a couple of groundouts. A 35 against Gura is going to be a strikeout. So Soderholm goes down swinging. He's got runners at first and third. Rick Cerrone now. Runners at first and third with 1 out. A 56 to a 5 is going to be another strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts for Larry Gura. Not exactly a strikeout master. That's his 4th of the game, but they have come at a very opportune time. Lou Piniella stands in now, 2 outs, runners at first and third. Base hit will score 1. Sweet Lou is 0 for 2. 25. To Piniella is going to be a fly out to right center field. Let's see about the error. No error on the play, and that's going to end the inning as Wathan makes a nice play out in right field. And that saves a couple of runs. So the Yankees, again, are stymied in the 7th. Larry Gura with a shutout going. 7 shutout innings for the Royals, and they lead 5-0 in this deciding Game 5. It will be Darrell Porter, Frank White, and Willie Wilson for the Royals. Darrell Porter, 0 for 3. He's got a 45 here. 45 to a -2 is going to be a single to left field. We're going to check the error there. No error on the play. So just a base knock for Darrell Porter. He's now 1 for 4. Brings up Frank White. White struck out in his last at-bat. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. And 14 to a very bad hitter is going to be a walk. That's a tough one as he takes the walk there. Runners at first and second base for Willie Wilson. And 11 against a pitcher in this column is going to be a strikeout. As Willie Wilson gets the strikeout, he is now 2 for 3. We got a 36 against UL Washington. Washington is 0 for 3 with 3 flyouts. He was a player of the game in the last game. He's going to take a walk here. That's going to load the bases. So bases loaded for the man of the hour, George Brett. Brett hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. And 11 is going to be a big time strikeout. So that's going to be out number 2. That was a huge one for Ron Davis as he strikes out George Brett with the bases loaded. But he's got to get past Hal McRae. McRae with a 3-run homer in his last at-bat. 56 to a 14 is going to be a walk. And Ron Davis walks in another run. It's now 6-0 to the Royals. And we'll give the RBI to Hal McRae. McRae now with 4 RBIs in this one, vying for player of the game honors. A 46, that will be Davis. It's a blank. And Amos Otis is a -5. And that'll be a double play or a strikeout. With 2 outs, we're going to take the strikeout. So Ron Davis strikes out the side, but he mixes in a little something there. And the Royals score 1 more run. They've got 6 runs. It's now 6-0 Royals over the Yankees. The Yankees, 2 more innings left to try to turn the tide here. They need 6 runs to tie. They're facing Larry Gura. Larry Gura not even to 27 batters yet, so he's rocking and rolling. Looking like he wants to be strong and finish this one out. A 25. He'll be facing off against Rodriguez, Brown, and Randolph. 25 to a -10. That'll be a fly ball out to center field. Check the error. No error on the play. So nice play out there by Amos Otis to run that one down. Brings up Bobby Brown. Brown 1 for 2 in this one. 25 will be the same fate, I believe. 25 is a fly out with an error check. Same out to Amos Otis. Same result as he comes in hard and makes a running catch coming toward the infield. That's 2 down in the top of the 8th inning. 6-0 is our score. And Willie Randolph to the plate. A 35 to Willie Randolph is going to be a walk. So Randolph on for the 2nd time in this game. He had a leadoff double. Let's go ahead and let Bucky Dent hit away. A 16, that's going to be a fly ball. That goes out to deep left center field as Bucky Dent gives it a ride. He had a 3-run homer in the last game, but here he's going to come up just a little bit short as Amos Otis catches it on the warning track. Everybody in Kansas City holding their breath. But that one stays in the park, and after a 2-out walk, the Yankees strand a runner on the bases, and we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-0 is our score. Davis can go 10 batters. He's right at 10 right now. Let's just bring in Gossage just because we can. Can go 6 and a 2.48 ERA. Okay, so we got 2/3 of an inning plus 1. 1, 2 hits, 1 run. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3 walks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ks. So a little bit of everything from Davis, as he did walk in a run here. That was how they got the 1 run. Time running out for the Yankees in this one. It is Rich Goose Gossage standing in, the big right-hander, pitching for the Yankees, and he's going to pitch the 8th inning. And I suppose if they needed him for the 9th, he could do that too. This would be a ground ball that's tapped down to first base. We'll say 3 unassisted as the first baseman gets it right by the bag. That's going to be Watson, who just stands on the bag for out number 1. Brings up Willie Aikens to the plate. Aikens to 22. This is going to be trouble. 22 to a 12 is going to be a double or a triple. So it's a 1. So that's going to be a 2-bagger as he laces one down the left field line. And Willie Aikens standing at second base with a double. He's now 2 for 5. Darrell Porter in the game. He singled in his last at-bat. This is going to be a long fly ball out to deep left center field. Catching it up against the wall is going to be the left fielder, Piniella. Excuse me. And that's going to give the runner at second an opportunity to move up. And we got a runner at third with 2 outs and Frank White to the plate. A 36 is going to be a walk to Frank White. So Gossage has 2 runners on with 2 out, and Willie Wilson standing in. The 12 is going to be a ground ball. That's a little tapper out in front of the plate. Jumping out to get it is Rick Cerrone. Cerrone makes the throw to first, and that is going to be all she wrote. Now we got a situation here. We got Larry Gura, 27, 28, 29 batters. He's still at or below his stamina. So he's still going to be pitching out of this column here. We're going to give him a chance to throw a complete game shutout for a Game 5 victory to go to the World Series. It's what every kid dreams about, and there's no need to take him out at this point. He will have to go through the meat of the order. It's Bob Watson, Reggie Jackson, and Eric Soderholm. 3 of the best hitters for the Yankees. But let's see if he can do it. Single last time for Bob Watson. Randy Watson. We got a 17, 46 to a 17. Is going to be a line out or a pop out. It's a pop out if this is a 7 or greater. It's an 8, so that's going to be a pop up. And we'll say that's a pop up to the shortstop as he, UL Washington, ranges back just a little bit out onto the outfield grass. He makes the catch, and that's out number 1. 2 outs away from a Game 5 victory, and it's Reggie Jackson standing in the way. He's 1 for 3. He had a single in his last at-bat. 66 to old Reggie is going to be a single with an error check. That's a base hit into left center field. Let's check Amos Otis again, and he is up to the task again as he makes the play out in center field and gets the ball back in. Keeps Reggie Jackson at first. Reggie now 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Eric Soderholm stands in, right-handed batter against the right-handed Gura. Gura struck him out last time. He's got a plus 10 batting runs, a 26 to a 10. That's going to be a single with an error check. That's a base hit down the left field line as he turns on that one. In left field is Willie Wilson, and he's going to make the play. So no problems with the ball out in left field. That's going to push the base runner to second base. We have 2 on with 1 out, and Rick Cerrone to the plate. Cerrone is 0 for 3. He's got a couple of strikeouts. 23 to a 5 is going to be a ground out. This goes to the first baseman, but we're checking the error. No error on the play. So we're going to make that throw to second, but they can't get the return. So we're going to 1-6 on the play. 3-6. And that'll move the runner to third. And that'll be an out there. That's out number 2, sorry. So we got 2 down. Runners at the corners. The Royals are 1 out away from putting this one away. 6-0 is our score. Larry Gura with a shutout through 8 2/3, looking to shut down the Yankees here. It's Lou Piniella in the way. He's 0 for 3. He's a -2, and a 26 to a -2 is going to be a ground out. As that's a little tapper to the shortstop. Washington picks it up, makes a good throw. His hands go in the air because that's a 0 in the ninth, and the Kansas City Royals take this one home by a score of 6-0 over the Yankees. Wow. Larry Gura. We're just going to pencil him in right here as the player of the game. KC wins this one 3-2, and they are going to be going off to the World Series. He gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 6 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 1, 2, 3, 4 Ks. So he's going to get the win and the complete game shutout. And taking the loss is going to be Ron Guidry. It's a tough loss. He goes 5 1/3, gives up 7 hits and 5 runs. He walked 6 batters and struck out 4. Offensive player of the game, probably Hal McRae. He goes 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs. He had a big back-breaking 3-run home run here, which basically just put the game away for the Royals. Another good game for Willie Wilson. He was 2 for 4 with a couple of walks. He had 2 stolen bases, a double, a single, and 3 walks down here for Frank White. So that is on-base baseball. So finishing up this 1980 ALCS. I'll move on to the NLCS. It'll be Houston and Philadelphia and the NLCS. And then we'll figure out who goes to the World Series to play the Royals. So just like in real life, the Royals make it. Hello, how are you? The Royals make it. And in real life, they won 3-0. Here they won 3-2 as the Yankees took 1 in Kansas City, and Kansas City took 1 in New York, so forced to Game 5. And this is using a yet-to-be-released 1980 season set, so that'll be coming soon. It'll come with the 80s game engine chart. It'll come with the I have 2 different types of score sheets here that you can use. It'll come with cards that you can print to cut out. These are not the ones, but they're similar to this. And basically, all of the information on the game engine chart is found on the cards for the players based off of their batting runs, and for the pitchers based off of their FIP. So the game is the same whether you play with cards or whether you play with the roster sheets, either one. So I was playing this game with the roster sheets you can see here, but it's all the same numbers, it's all the same players. It's just 2 different ways to go about playing. If you play with the roster sheets, you just want to take your players and transfer their data onto the score sheet here. I have room for batting, defense, and speed, and so those are the main values that you're going to use. Speed you use for all the tag ups and the different kinds of base running, so stealing, things like that. And what else do you get? Well, you get the game guide that comes with the game as well. And so all of the components that you need in order to play the game come with each season that you purchase. You don't have to go off and purchase seasons differently than the components. You'll wind up with duplicate components, but that's okay. Just print what you need. It all comes PDF. So if you live overseas, then it is no issue. You should be able to download it to your computer. The store that I use, the storefront that I use, is super easy. So you can use PayPal, you can use a credit card, whatever you want to use in order to make that purchase. And the delivery is instantaneous. So that's the cool part about PDFs. And you can decide the quality that you want. I typically like to just print it on paper, especially if I'm doing some sort of like testing like this, not a big deal. But if you were doing a whole season set, you would want to print it on, probably good card stock and things like that. It's usually a couple of hundred pieces of paper if you want to do every single card. It's only maybe 20 to 25 if you want to do the roster sheet. So it's about 10 or 11 for the batters, 10 or 11 for the pitchers, something like that. Depending on the season, the older the seasons are, the fewer the players. Newer the seasons are, the more players. So I don't really cut people off in on base. So there are even pitchers on or batters on there that are pinch hitters. I don't know if I have any of those on these teams. Maybe. Here's a guy here. Alan Nicely for the Astros. He was a pinch hitter. He never actually played any positions. He had one game, one at bat, one strikeout. So you get players like that who are just in there. So if you're doing an as played replay, this is a perfect game. If you're doing cross era play, it's a perfect game. If you're looking for something quick to play, it's a perfect game. I think we've been going for 50 minutes as far as the stream is concerned, and I've probably been talking for, I don't know, a good 15 to 20 minutes of those. So before and then now afterwards. So it plays really quickly, like Stratomatic Basic or APA Basic. It's sort of in the same vein and will play just as quickly. But the big difference is it's based off of sabermetrics and advanced statistics. So if you're into those, it's in your face right on the cards. In fact, the cards have not only are the game values actual sabermetric statistics. This is an old Bill James stat from back in the 80s. But we have WOBA, weighted runs created, WAR, and then you have your regular like slash line OPS type stats. And then you got all of your counting stats. So if you prefer to use those, you can use those. It's no big deal. And then for the pitchers, let's see if we can find a pitcher. And then for the pitchers, same thing. We use FIP for older seasons, any season before 2002. Any season after 2002, we're going to use Sierra, which is a superior statistic. Batting average on balls in play, whip, K percentage, walk percentage, home runs per 9. And then you have your like typical regular stats, their how many games and then how many games they started, their record and ERA and such. So you get a good sense of who the players are, how much did they play. So even if you're playing an era that you don't fully understand, you can look at the cards and you can say, okay, well, at least, I can separate these guys out by starts and how many innings they pitched and things like that. So you can get a pretty good sense of who started and who played. I find that Baseball Reference is also an excellent tool. If you go to each team page, they have listed out the starters basically, and then they have the pitchers who are the starting pitchers, and then they have their most used relievers, and then they kind of have everybody else after that. So they sort of sort those out by who is used the most in those seasons. They'll also give you a sense of who the closer is, even if the pitcher's not designated as a closer. They'll give you a sense of who the closers are if you go to a site like that as well. All right, so this will be released soon. I just need to go back through and do the editing on the cards and just make sure that everybody's okay. I've already found a couple of issues, mostly with their positions. So I just need to go through and double check and make sure everybody is in the correct positions that they should be. I think everything else is fine at this point. And once I double check everything and make sure that it's all correct, then I will release those. I will make a post to the Facebook page, and that will be an easy way to find out. So if you go to Facebook and go to groups, search for the Clark and Addison Gaming Company, and you can find our group, answer a few questions. It's a private group, and you can get in. And in there, there's all kinds of files that you can download from the files section to try out games. I have a new game called Precision Baseball that you can try out the demo. You can play demos for Play Action Football or any other sort of like experimental games that I have going on there as well. So it's worthwhile, and that's where you're going to find out about all the information first, is in that Facebook group. And then I kind of go out from there to the YouTube page, and then out to the other like sports simulation groups on Facebook. And then and I'll often just talk about it here and kind of hawk it while I'm doing a game as well. If you want to check out the seasons that are already available for On-Base Baseball, you can go to clarkandaddisongaming.com, and you can click on the big green button in the right-hand column, or if you're on your mobile phone, just open the menu and go to Shop All Games. And from there, you can filter by game. You can go to the free section and download any demos that we have available, or free resources like the scorecards. The game engine charts are all free. The DIY kit for On-Base Baseball is also free, so you can see how to do that. It's a game that I give away. It's not a game that I necessarily charge for. I charge for my time to put together the roster sheets and the cards, but almost all the components of the game I actually give away, including the game engines. So you can play those at any time, and if you want to go out and get your players yourself or put together draft leagues or whatever you want to do, you can use the game engine chart with those players based off of their batting runs, defense, and speed. So you get those values off of fangraphs.com. You can also get them at Baseball Reference. You can also get them at Baseball Prospectus. So there's different versions. I have a video. I believe it's still on the On-Base Baseball YouTube channel. So you can look up On-Base Baseball and go to the YouTube channel there. And the video shows you how to go out and get the data to use with the DIY kit. So if you want to do that. Thank you, Mario, for subscribing. I appreciate it. We got 188 subscribers into the channel at this point. So appreciate everybody who's subscribing, and thank you for tuning in. We've had up to 3 people. That's like 1 or 2 more than normal for the live stream. And just have a little bit of time here tonight to be able to do this. It was a special game. Game 5, winner goes to the World Series. So just wanted to do a little bit of something special with going live and continue to test that out as well. All right, we're approaching an hour, so I think I'll cut it off from here. But the Royals win this one 6-0 over the Yankees. It is a 6-hit shutout for Larry Gura as he takes care of the mighty Yankees from 1980, and it will be Kansas City in the World Series. I'll play out the 1980 NLCS as well, and we'll see who joins Kansas City in the World Series. I appreciate everybody's support and for hanging in there and for watching. And if you haven't clicked subscribe yet, just click on subscribe. If you like this video, go ahead and click the thumbs up. That's a super easy way to just support what we're doing here. Another good way to support anybody who's creating tabletop games is to just go buy a game of theirs and try it out. It may be new to you or whatever. Just try it out. It's more of an encouragement than anything. You know, $10 doesn't go as far as it used to, but it's an encouragement to the designer that I made something that people are willing to purchase and to play and to hopefully enjoy. And that's the whole reason that we're doing this, is to have fun, to learn more about historical baseball, or to replay, or to figure out, if I did this, would this happen? Like, there's all kinds of like really cool things that you can do on the tabletop that you can't do on a gaming console. So hopefully you continue to tell people about the different games that are out there and to share those things on social media. And it really does help. It seems like a drop in the bucket, but it actually is a pretty small community. So even small actions have pretty big consequences in a small community. All right. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.